are times when vibe coding just feels useless. The UI looks awful, you got 20 errors, and you know that you're not going to be launching it in time. So lots of people complain that AI created apps have really ugly UI. And yes, I agree when you don't give them any context. Here I just said built a SaaS dashboard, one of the most common vibe coding prompts. It just provides you with a very simple, intuitive UI. Nothing special at all. It's got an ugly name, the notifications don't work, the black mode's alright, analytics aren't there. It just doesn't look well put together, does it? And you can easily tell this is vibe coded. And compare it to something like this, where I literally just said, I've provided an image for you to use as major inspiration. Took a second image on Google search, and it came up with this. So much cleaner, looks a lot better. I like the theme a lot more. The text and the font is just 10 times better. That's why I'd always recommend you to, before you create your app, have in mind what you actually want that app to look like. Look at some inspiration. It's not bad taking a bit of inspiration from your bigger competitors, because they do A and B tests to iteratively optimize their websites. So by taking that, you're saving yourself millions of dollars in research on how to make the best website, and you're just taking all of their work. Which sounds bad, but when you're a smaller player, you haven't got a big enough budget, it's sometimes the best way to go. People magically believe that vibe coding is going to take care of API logic, database schema, multi-page routing, but it won't. Yet. That's because you need to make changes one at a time, granularly. You need to take one feature that you really want to fix and fully focus on that. Let's say I said, nice, now implement authentication through Google, set this up with PSQL, change your theme completely to an even more retro vibe, add a calculator, and I just press send. The vibe coding tool is going to have to focus on multiple things at once, instead of focusing all of its resources, all of its intellect on one singular project, and actually working through that, finding the best solution. It's going to take 4 mediocre solutions and just try and do them all at the same time. And what it typically leads in, like this could work, it could be amazing, but what it typically leads in, the app's going to break, and you're going to have to go back, if you can, roll back, if not, restart the whole project again, or just debug for 2 hours. You should work modularly, you should work granularly. Now Gemini just said he's a world-class senior front-end engineer, so I'm not sure he may be able to do it. It successfully implemented a calculator and changed the theme, although it did decline setting up Google Auth and PSQL database because of it deemed it as a significant back-end task, which is funny because it probably knew itself that it's going to stop breaking stuff. A lot of people say that AI just doesn't understand what they want. They write something in, they write a prompt, but AI just can't understand what we want. Well, I'm going to show you how to fix this. I have a 3-layered prompt structure when I'm doing simple prompts, which is this. Describe the concept, then the emotion, then the functionality. I got a prompt here that says build a link in bio app where you can put all your links onto one page for musicians. And I have another one here where it says this exact same prompt. But then after it says each card opens a module with embedded Spotify, and then should feel cinematic, electric, and show-stopping. And I just want to see the difference in the app, because I believe that there's going to be a significant difference in the way that the app feels. Because on the left side, put in my functionality, I've put in my concept, I've also put in the feel that I want it to evoke in the user. And on the right side, I've just put in some mundane thing. So we'll see how it does, and I'll report back to you. So if we were to compare the two, you can see that this one has a music cursor, and it's just got like some slightly bigger animations. Now, I actually personally don't think that, I think I like this UI more. It's just the fact that with this one, we got exactly what we asked for. The person who sent the prompt, aka me, I said I wanted it to be cinematic. I said I wanted it to be show-stopping. And this is Google's attempt of making it show-stopping by having music notes, cursors, and big animations that glow whenever you show it. Compare with this one, it's nice, but I can't say it's anything special. So what happens all the time is that people always say that vibe coding is just the vibes and you can't actually make a real app for it. But let me tell you the reason why they're actually saying that. It's literally because of they make an app. So we go into an app like the musicians link up, just taking an example from a previous fit. And then they'd ask an AI coding tool to make a full stack version of this. And then from here, they'd start prompting, adding new features, doing all of that stuff. Now, let me tell you, that's a wrong way to do it. Instead, what you should be doing is starting with a concept and inspiration. This is because you actually need to define that idea clearly. You need to know what you're actually going to be working on, why you want to work on it, how it's going to work, and all of those stuff. You need to define it clearly instead of just first going off a prompt and working out from there if you actually don't only want to have vibes, but have a real app. And layout generation, especially if it's not just a front-end app, if it's not just to make a personal website or a quick dashboard or a little tracker or a calculator, whatever, and you actually want a full stack, big application, then I would recommend you to start with just a skeleton, putting out where everything's supposed to go. No fonts, no styles, no themes, no UI, no anything except the bare bones of what you actually want to visualize on the screen. That's when you start iteratively going through what you want to change thing by thing and start honing it into an app that actually looks good, because of this way you're not going to break the app by saying completely change this and then let's go into the next thing, but you're actually going step by step over a little button change, a little text change, a little video change, or whatever. Then you start adding the functionality. Functionality and the back end come after a front end. So my fifth tip to make vibe coding not actually suck is to use the tools that you are given. For example, in Google AI Studio, you have an annotate app tool, which you click on it and then you can draw whatever you want. So for example, I could draw in the top right corner here, draw an arrow and say, add the sun. And then when I press add to the chat, then I can send it off as its individual prompt. Now, before this tool, I would have had to have specified the coordinates or for them to put it in the top right corner. But now with these drawing tools, I can literally just place it pinpoint where I want it. So it's tools like these that enable you to become a 10 times better vibe coder, yet you really need to take advantage of them. It's very good keeping up to date with the latest tools because of this space is changing so fast. That's why I'd recommend you to subscribe to my channel, because I'm going to do only AI coding from now on. And here's a nice little sun. You can't see it that well, but it is a sun and it is exactly where I said I wanted it to be. If you guys have tried to vibe code an app using APIs, you know that it probably sucks. And that's because of you need to read, even if just briefly, the documents and then preferably paste in the information into the AI coding tool that you're using. So let's say I wanted to use Exa in one of my projects. Exa is a search API which is built for AI models, so that AI can become augmented and start browsing the web and start collecting more relevant data. Instead of just reading it and then trying to remember everything, what you can do is you can just copy the page. You can just copy the page, go into whatever AI coding tool that you're using, and just paste in the actual information, because of now the agent has up-to-date information that you took 3 seconds of your time to actually implement. With this tip, you're going to save time, you're going to save money in tokens used, but also you're actually going to get your project up and running, which is the most important thing. So the last tip, and the most important tip in my opinion, is in this example, I have a generative product visualizer, which is an app that takes a product image and visualizes it in different scenes, different everything. And I built this in Google AI Studio with Nano Banana. Yeah, let's say that this is broken. But one thing that you should not be afraid to do is restart. Go back to home screen, type in your idea, and sometimes it even helps that you've done it wrong, because of then at least you know what you're looking for. At least you know what made it wrong last time, and then you can build the app better with better foundation. Now that said, thank you for watching, see you later, and subscribe for more YouTube videos.